Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Hello, everyone out there in the cleaning business world, and welcome to another episode of True Grime Stories. And today I am going to introduce you to a rising star in the residential cleaning industry. And I have had the opportunity to watch her business grow over the last couple years. And I couldn't wait for her to come on True Grime Stories with me. And her name is Bre Tschilar. Did I say that right?
Tschilar.
I haven't gotten it right yet. Bre Tschilar. And but she is an amazing leader in her community. Bre is the founder of Cleanings A Breeze in Wasilla, Alaska. And she started her business in 2016. Her business specializes in green residential cleaning. I've really watched Bre grow her team and her business over the years in many ways. But one of the things that she does that really sets her apart is she gets very involved in the community. She's a partner with Cleaning for a Reason, one of 1,400 business owners who partner with Cleaning for a Reason. Bre recently shared that she's going to be hosting a haunted house fundraiser for Cleaning for a Reason, which I think is super cool and fun. And then also she started her own initiative called Cleaning from the Heart. And she donates a set number of hours every month to people who are nominated who could benefit from having some cleaning in their home, which is just a beautiful story. And I was just sharing with Bre how proud I am of her. And welcome, Bre. Thank you so much for being on this episode with me.
Thank you, Jeannie. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Well, I've just been so excited to have this conversation with you because you've done so much in your business. We wouldn't have time today to cover all the amazing things that you've done since we met, but I haven't really talked with you a lot, or at least not recently, about what it was like in the beginning. We call it your grime story. So what was your grime story? Like, what was it like when you first started and it was just harder than you thought, or you thought things could be better than this, or I'm going to quit? You know, what were those feelings and what did your business look like then?
So first starting, it was, I was a special ed teacher just starting and cleaning on the side, like many businesses start, right? Just doing it on the side. And I grew too fast. So I didn't know what was going on. I was running multiple people on the teams. There was charging them hourly. It was a mess. And then when COVID hit, which was actually like a really great thing for cleaning companies because people learned the value of a clean home and of what we do. We also, that was another huge stepping stone for us because we were essential in Alaska. We didn't get shut down. So
that makes a difference.
I'm in
Michigan. We had a little bit different experience here.
yeah, you guys got shut down for that,
we
right?
Did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were very, very fortunate. But that gave me a whole new set of like challenges because now I couldn't have the girls riding together in the car because they had to keep their space. And so it was, I think I found CBF a couple of years after that, like 2022 is when I found CBF.
Okay. That's great.
And that was like the game changer.
So what was it like being the owner of that business before you found Cleaning Business Fundamentals that helped you kind of get to where you are today? What did it feel like? What was your personal life like leading that business?
It was stressful. So I'm also a single mom. So running the business and taking care of the kids, I was going through some like chaos and pandemonium with my sons. I call him the co-creator because that's the nicest way to refer. And then I still had to do the business. I still had to make my employees make sure that they were taken care of and loved and all the things. So it was, it was chaos and pandemonium and stress and.
So keeping all the balls in the air, taking good care of all the people in your life. So, obviously you you want to take care of your family, but then you've got employees and you've got clients. Yeah, that's a lot of stress. And as entrepreneurs, we tend to wear all the hats all the time. Now, did you start cleaning in the field?
I did.
Did you? Okay. And so were you still in the field at this point, or were you out of the field at this point?
When I found CBF, I was out of the field because I was in the field up until 9 months pregnant with my son. So I left the field about 2 weeks before I gave birth.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
goodness. and I didn't go back. Okay. So it was, that was like the turning point, because now I have an infant to take care of and I can't take him on the jobs with me. So,
I have heard of people doing that, but I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. He went on quotes with me. That's about as close as we got. But yeah, no, not cleaning.
Yeah. So, your business is growing rapidly. You get through, the major part of the pandemic, and you started looking, and you found Cleaning Business Fundamentals. And I had the opportunity to get to know you then. And you started jumping in and learning. What were some things that you realized you wanted to change right out of the gate?
Right out of the gate, it was Empower Pay and solos. That was the very first thing I implemented, and freaked my team out. But I did the guinea pig with one of them, and I was like, let's use you as the guinea pig. And he was like, okay. And his paycheck was double, and I had more money. So I was like, this is a win-win, because they weren't coming and picking up the supplies, clocking in, and then going to the gas station and dropping the kids off at school all on the clock.
Yeah.
So that was a huge game changer for us.
Okay. So you changed the way you paid people from, you were paying hourly before?
Yes.
Okay. So you went from hourly pay to what we call empowered pay system, which is somewhat a commission pay type system. And then also you went from having teams of 2, was that right?
Yep.
From teams of 2 to having solo cleaners. And that was a big change as well.
Yes.
Yeah, great. And so, were those the primary things that changed the game for you, or was there one other big change that really fueled the growth that I've watched you have over the last couple of years?
That was a huge step. Implementing speed cleaning was the next step, and that really helped. That helped a lot. But I think once I started tracking the numbers, tracking the numbers, and I was like, okay, this is where I need to implement next, because this is what the numbers tell me I need to implement next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing your numbers is it seems so basic, right?
Right.
But as a coach, and even in my own personal experience, many of us don't know our numbers. We don't, I didn't know what my monthly revenue was. Like when somebody asked me that question, I'd have to dig and do a bunch of math to figure out that number, where, now you know that off the top of your head, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a big part of it. So knowing your numbers and then using that to kind of guide your decision-making process. What are some of the ways that has helped you move forward? Like, can you think of a specific situation where knowing your numbers changed your actions?
It helped a lot with the hiring. So again, it all falls back onto my staff, okay, I'm making this much. My staff is bringing in this much. I need to know where to hire next. And of course, the answer is always be hiring. Yeah. But it was, how many people do I need? And it was tracking the employees and how long they're staying and how many are making it through probation. And out of how many do you hire, how many stick? So for us, I found by tracking the numbers that it's 1 out of every 3 hires sticks. So
it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It really is a numbers game. So knowing your numbers has helped you build the team that you have today, right?
Yes.
And I love it when you talked about earlier, when you changed your pay system, the way that you pay your people, you actually were paying them more and you were making more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yes.
doesn't make sense to people, right? Like it doesn't make common sense. How can you give somebody more money, but then you have more money left over? But that was
Right.
probably also through a numbers analysis of understanding how much you have to charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We definitely we did the price increase because we hadn't raised prices since COVID hit, and so that was another one of the first things we implemented was, okay, you gotta pay more, and so now, and we're doing an annual price increase now, which was another thing that CBF said, like, no, you need to do it annually, not just willy nilly.
A lot of people don't raise prices for years.
Yeah.
I took over a business that had never raised prices on anyone. They might have raised prices for new customers, but they never went back and raised prices for their legacy clients.
Right.
And the prices were still way too low. But, I run into people all the time that don't do regular price increases because they don't understand how it's impacting how much they can pay their team and their bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah. We are constantly doing the price increases. Like after a year, they get the price increase, our standing customers. But if I'm landing more than 55% of my quotes, I'm upping the price until I'm about 55%. And then when we get back up to more, then I'm raising the price again, so we're charging a very healthy amount. And people are taking it.
Yes. In Alaska, the cost of living is significantly different than other parts of the country. So I know that your hourly, what you're charging for every hour that you clean is probably quite a bit more than a lot of parts of the country. And I don't like to get into the weeds on that because people will be like, what? You're charging what? Yeah.
Right.
But I love how like everything that you talk about refers back to the numbers. Like you just said, closing at 55%. And I know there are people out there, and I know they are because I was one of those people who'd be like, what? You only close 50%? That doesn't sound like very much. But what you know is that when you're closing at 50%, you're getting the highest paying customers who are not price sensitive, right?
Correct.
And that's all about knowing the right numbers. And if you're closing at 80 or 90%, it's not because you're an amazing salesperson.
Right. It's because you're too cheap.
And it took me a long time to figure that out. So lucky you and smart you that you figured that out and that you're using numbers to lead your decisions in your business. I think this is a great spot to stop right here. I'd like to come back in a minute and talk about now that you have built your team with these numbers, what kind of results you're seeing.
Okay.
So we'll take a little break right here and we'll hear from our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Well, Bre, so far you have shared so many gold nuggets about how you have grown your business to the point that it is today after getting through the pandemic and realizing that there has to be more that you can do with your business and all the changes that you made. But one of the things that really stands out to me is how you have used numbers to be able to grow your team, to know how many you need to hire. You understand, your turnover rate, all those kinds of things. So how often are you looking at those numbers?
I have my office manager looking daily, and she reports to me weekly. So I'm looking weekly.
Okay, that's great. And, so you have a pulse of what's happening in your business, every week, knowing what those numbers are. So tell me what some of your primary numbers are that you're watching in relation to your team.
So obviously the monthly revenue that we're getting, because that's tells me what direction I need to take the business. As far as the team, it's also my office manager has a lot on her plate. I have a lot on my plate. So I've been watching the numbers to be like, can we get a VA in? And so last week we just hired the VA because the numbers told me that I could afford a VA.
That's so great. How exciting.
It's great. I have someone to answer the phones when we're on the phone, it's such a help. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. But you can feel confident in that decision because you're familiar with where your numbers are.
Yes.
And you mentioned always be hiring. And so how often are you interviewing?
3 to 4 times a week.
Okay. Wow. So, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, wow, you're interviewing every week. But what happens if you aren't interviewing every week?
The job goes cold. We lose the candidates. They go somewhere else, or, they don't respond.
And you said you keep probably about 1 out of every 3 hires ends up sticking and becoming a great member of your team. So where was your team before you started making these changes? How many people were on your team?
We had 6. So, but that was, running in teams of 2. So technically we had 3 teams going. And now we've got 12 solos going.
Wow. 12 solos. That's huge. So, and I'm sure the productivity has gone way up per person. Like the number of houses that you clean per person per week, which is something that I saw as well in my business, which also people think that doesn't make sense. How do you go from teams of 2 to basically teams of 1 yet, and now you're able to clean more houses? Like, how did that work out for you?
Well, because you split them up, so you instantly double the amount of houses that you can cover. Alaska, most of our houses for a biweekly takes approximately 3.5 man hours. So we can do 2 to 3 houses per person instead of 2 to 3 houses per team. Because you've got to calculate the drive time for the team, and then they're stopping for this and they're doing that, so it's just way more productive.
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted time in team cleaning, and you don't realize how those 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute breaks, conversations, whatever else it is, the distractions that happen with team cleaning, how it impacts your ability to sell that time.
Right.
And it adds up over a week's time. So, and that was one of the things that shocked me. I mean, even if we have, 10 minutes of wasted time a day per employee, right? That's like an hour every week per employee. And if you had 10 employees, that's 10 hours that you didn't sell. And, just to throw, a random rate out there, if that's 60, if you're selling at $60 an hour, I know that you're selling probably way more than that where you're located, but if you're selling at $60 an hour and you lose $600 a week in potential revenue times 52, that's $31,000 a year.
Right.
$31,000 just by increasing the efficiency of your team. And so I've seen you do this, over all this time. So what has your growth been like? So, are you doubling or tripling your business? Like, where are you at from when you started making all these changes a couple years ago?
I believe when I started, I was at approximately 300,000 a year. Projection is between 700 and 800,000 this year.
Oh my goodness. So you have nearly tripled your business in a 2-year period. That's absolutely amazing. And congratulations. I know you just joined CBF Pros as part of our Ascension program. It was a joy to be with you that day and celebrate that with you. I know that's, I remember getting that, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like amazing to look back how far you've come.
Thank you. I think you had the same jacket on because I look at that selfie.
I have 3 jackets this color.
Okay. Well, I have one that color too. It's a great color.
Yeah. Yeah. I like blue. I can't help myself.
Yeah. No, I'm printing out that picture of you and I because that moment was huge. You know, like you helped me go through all of those stages, and then you're gonna make me cry again. But like it was just a great moment that it's gonna be plastered on my little board that I have in my office of like, this is where you're going, this is what you do. And
well,
like
it was a big day for me too as your coach. I sent that picture to my kids and my husband that day. I'm like, look what happened. This is why, you know, I love this community and love, you know, what I get blessed to do is, you know, work with cleaning business owners like you. So big hug across the distance that we have gotten to share that great moment. And the cool thing is this is just the beginning.
Right.
So what's in the future for Cleaning a Breeze?
April, I'll be on the stage with the green jacket.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, a green jacket is something we do in CBF when a business owner reaches the $1 million mark. So I can't wait to be there.
Yeah. So, and then it's really like, I'm looking at my business and it's like, yes, we are doing amazing with the numbers and the revenue and everything, but with our growth, I am able to help so many other community members and my employees. And so it's how many more people can we help? And that's the ultimate goal of this. So that's what's in the future, I guess, is passing it on, all the help that I've gotten from CBF, passing it on to my little town in Alaska.
Oh, that's so cool. Paying it forward. And, you know, that's one of the things that when you get your business growing the way that it can be, when you eliminate chaos and you get your business going, yes, you get some time freedom and you get some financial freedom. But the really cool thing is you get purpose freedom and impact freedom. You get to start like really touching lives at that point and leaving a legacy. And, you know, I think that, you know, I'm sure that you're already famous in your community, but you are going to be a local celebrity for everything that you're doing in Wasilla. And we're just all so proud of you, what you're doing. So thank you for being such a great leader in our community. And other people will be learning from you for many years to come, I'm sure.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's been a real joy talking with you, Bre. And what you shared today, I think, is going to be very inspiring for our audience, that knowing your numbers gives you the power to make decisions in your business that you can't make any other way. If you do, you're just shooting from the hip or,
right,
you know, running blindly into the future. But when you know your numbers, you can easily plot your course and know exactly how many people I need to hire if I want to have a business this size. And, you know, how many customers it takes to get there. And knowing your turnover rate, you know, that not every employee is going to make it. Don't count on that. Hire, if you need one, hire 3. Right.
Yes.
So all great things for everybody to know and remember. Well, it's been a pleasure having you as a guest here on True Grime Stories, Bre. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeannie. This was fun.
Yeah, it has been fun. And we've gotten to see each other like 3 times this week. So it's even more fun. But I just want to say to our audience out there, I hope that you've enjoyed learning from Bre today. Be sure and leave us a note in the comments. And be sure and download or share this with your cleaning business friends. And if you would like to know more about Bre's business, her website will be listed here in the show notes. And also, if you want to know more about this cleaning business fundamentals thing that we keep talking about, feel free to connect with me. There's a link in the notes and we can talk. And I would love to learn about your business and how cleaning business fundamentals can help you grow. Well, thanks again, Bre, and thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone. Is your team culture helping your business grow or holding you back? If you have a great culture now, Will it remain positive even if you're not in your business every day? If these questions hit home, it's time to discover Culture Magic, a proven recipe and system for building a positive, thriving team culture that runs strong even when you step away. Click the link in the show notes to learn more about Culture Magic today. Your dream team is possible, and it starts with Culture Magic. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.